जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंदा जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा श्री चैतन्य चरितामृत की जय। श्रील कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 7, the Lord Chaitanya's tour of South India. So if you remember, in the last session, we read that Mahaprabhu started off to go to South India. So he, first of all, in brief, I won't go over all the details, but just a general overview. So Mahaprabhu, don't make noise. Mahaprabhu called for his devotees and expressed his desire to go to South India, but he wanted to go alone. He was asking for their permission, but he wanted to go alone. Then Nityananda Prabhu suggested, at first he tried to say that, he should take at least 2 people and that he could go himself because he knew the places in South India. And Mahaprabhu said, no, devotees, like the associates with whom he had come to Jagannath Puri, he came with 4 associates from Shantipur. Actually, when he took sannyas, he had these companions with him. So with them, he came to Puri also. And now they were with him. And Mahaprabhu just by way of pointing out their faults because of which he could not take them with him, he was actually tasting their love. He was actually glorifying them. But anyway, he said, Nityananda Prabhu, you broke my sannyas danda. You tricked me. I wanted to go to Vrindavan and you tricked me into going to Shantipur. I'm not going to take you. Like that. He gave several reasons. So he dismissed. He's not going to take anyone. Finally, Nityananda Prabhu said, please, I request you, you are supremely independent. Whatever you decide to do, whether it gives us happiness or not, that's not the concern. Your order is our duty. Whatever you order, we will obey that. But I have one request. Let one Brahmana go with you, and he's a neutral person, right? It's not any of us. And he will not object to whatever you do. All he will do is he'll just carry your clothes. That's all. Because both your hands you'll be chanting, right? Counting with one hand and chanting with the other hand. How you'll carry your water pot and your clothes? You need somebody. So just take one Brahmana. Mahaprabhu agreed. Then he took all of them and went to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house to take Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's permission. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not prepared for that, right? He said, please stay for some more days. With great difficulty, I don't know by what good fortune I got your association, and this cruel fate is going to take you away from me. Please stay for some more days. Then, understanding Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's, feeling, Mahaprabhu relented. He said, okay. So he stayed for 5 more days. And after that, when he asked Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, okay, now I have to go, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya agreed. Then Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath temple to take darshan of Jagannath and take permission from Jagannath. And then, he got Mahaprasad garlands and all that. So this was certainly blessing from Jagannath. So then he was in great joy that now he got Jagannath's permission. With his devotees, he circumambulated the altar of Jagannath, and then he started off to go to, on his South Indian tour. He was walking along the seashore. At that time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was also with Mahaprabhu. He sent Gopinath Acharya home to go and get 4 sets of clothes, outer cloth, for Mahaprabhu he had kept, and 4 cowpins. He said, go and bring that, and also bring Jagannath's Mahaprasadam. You can take the help of the Brahmana, right? Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is Brahmana assistant. You take his help to bring all this prasadam. And then they started walking. And at that time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya fell on the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and requested him. What was the request? That when he goes to South India, he must meet with Ramananda Rai. And also there we saw how he said, Ramananda Rai, you shouldn't neglect him, thinking that he is a materialist or that he's a low-born Shudra. You shouldn't think like that. Actually, he's a very exalted devotee. I did not recognize him earlier because, I was a Mayavadi philosopher. So I didn't understand. But by your mercy, now I understand what is bhakti. And now when I think about him, I see what an exalted devotee he is. And you also, when you will actually go and talk to him, you will see the depth of his knowledge and his bhakti, his rasagyan. You will not find anyone like him. He's actually, he qualified to, he deserves to meet you because he's so highly qualified in bhakti, like that. So Mahaprabhu agreed, yes, I will meet. Then Mahaprabhu said, he begged, blessings from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Again, we saw Mahaprabhu was setting an example that the criterion for the exaltedness of a person is his bhakti, not social position. So to show that Mahaprabhu, even though he was a sannyasi, he was seeking the blessings of a grihastha who was a pure devotee, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So then he said, when you worship your deity at home, please, you bless me whenever you worship, like that, so that very soon I will come back to Jagannath Puri. He embraced him and he turned around to walk. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya fainted. Mahaprabhu didn't even turn around, he just kept walking. So there, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami said how the Vaishnava's heart, right, is sometimes very soft like a flower, and at times it's very hard like a thunderbolt. You cannot predict. So Mahaprabhu is now, normally you would have expected him to, out of love, out of attachment, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya fainted. You would have expected that he would, his heart would melt and he would come and take care of him. No, he didn't even turn around. He just walked away, hard as a thunderbolt, like that. And of course, Nityananda Prabhu arranged for the devotees to carry Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to his house. And then, meanwhile, quickly they came back to join Mahaprabhu after dropping Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Gopinath Acharya also came with prasadam and clothes. And all of them walking, they came to Alalanath. There the devotees offered prayers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and offered obeisances. Mahaprabhu went into ecstasy, started dancing, and by that all the local people, they came, and in large crowds they were coming, and they wouldn't leave after coming, because when Mahaprabhu was dancing, he was so beautiful, golden body with saffron outer garment, sannyasi, and then his body was decorated with the ornaments of the symptoms of ecstasy, trembling and crying, hair standing on end, like that. So they had not seen anything like that before. So, and naturally, simply by seeing him, everyone, women, old men, children, everyone started chanting loudly, and they wouldn't leave that place. And Nityananda Prabhu, seeing this, he said, he told his devotees, the other devotees that were with him, that soon this type of kirtan you will see in every single village on the planet Earth. And after that, he saw now the crowd is not going to leave, nobody is leaving. So he said he devised a trick to disperse the crowd. What did he do? Uh, with the excuse of taking Mahaprabhu for his noon ritual, right? So afternoon you go take bath in the river or some water body, and then chant your mantra and then take prasad. So Nityananda Prabhu took Mahaprabhu. All the crowd started following. Wherever Mahaprabhu was going, they were also following. So after taking bath, Nityananda Prabhu brought Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the temple. When Mahaprabhu entered, he allowed the devotees that were with them. As soon as the devotees entered, the doors were closed. The temple gates were locked from outside, so nobody could come inside. Then Gopinath Acharya and the Brahman, they had brought prasadam. That prasadam was served to both the lords, Gaur Nitai, Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after they ate, their remnants were now given to the devotees. With great satisfaction, they ate. Meanwhile, all these people, they came following, they surrounded the temple. Many, many, many people were there. And they were loudly chanting, Hari, Hari, Krishna, Gopal, like this, because they wanted to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what attracts Mahaprabhu the most? When somebody is chanting the Lord's names, this is very pleasing to Mahaprabhu. So Mahaprabhu had finished eating, so he had the gates opened, the doors opened, and then he gave his darshan to everyone. All the people started to come inside and take darshan, and Mahaprabhu allowed them. This was noon time after prasad. Until evening, people were coming and going outside, coming, taking darshan and going. And so many people came, and everyone who got darshan of the Lord, they all became pure, unalloyed devotees by the mercy of the Lord, by getting darshan of the Lord, by seeing him. Then it was night time. So that night, Mahaprabhu spent happily with his devotees, speaking Krishna Katha all night. And the next day morning, he took bath, and now it was time for him to leave. So what did he do? He, uh, once again, he embraced all the devotees, and then he left. So the devotees fainted again. Mahaprabhu didn't turn around, he just kept walking. But Mahaprabhu was also, his heart was also paining in separation from his devotees. But he didn't stop. He was going with a heavy heart, feeling pain, the pain of separation from his devotees, but he just kept walking. And behind him, this Krishnadas uh, Brahmana, he also kept walking, carrying the clothes of Mahaprabhu. And when the devotees, when they came back to consciousness, they had fainted. So when they came back to consciousness, they were so sad. They didn't eat anything. They just fasted. They didn't even walk back, go back to Jagannath Puri. They just stayed there in Alalanath that day, that whole day. And that night, they just stayed there fasting in separation from Mahaprabhu. And then the next day, slowly, they started walking back to Jagannath Puri. And meanwhile, Mahaprabhu now he's walking. What is Mahaprabhu doing? He's chanting constantly. What is he chanting? Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Raksha Mam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahimam. Like that. Mahaprabhu kept chanting. That's where we stopped in the last session. Mahaprabhu is chanting and traveling. Pahimam. Like that. Mahaprabhu kept chanting. That's where we stopped. Okay. Now, yeah, so 95. Almost like a mad lion. Yes, how was Mahaprabhu walking? He was walking like a mad lion. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on his tour filled with ecstatic love and performed Sankirtan, chanting Krishna's names as follows. What was he chanting? This. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Hey. Krishna, 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 Raksha Mam. Krishna, 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 Pahi Mam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Raksha Mam. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahi Mam. So nice, huh? So many times Krishna, 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 Krishna is saying. You just get you get some slight understanding of how much Mahaprabhu loved to chant Krishna, right? Krishna, 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 hey, 7 times. Then Krishna, 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 hey. Again, Krishna, 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 Raksha Mam. Krishna, 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 Pahi Mam. Yeah, Srila Rupa Goswami says there is so much nectar in these 2 syllables, Krishna. There's so much nectar that 2 years are not sufficient to contain all the nectar to you know to uh, to contain. Yeah, like you have a container, the capacity, right? 2 years don't have the capacity to hold all the nectar that comes from those 2 syllables, Krishna. And this one tongue, you know, it's not sufficient to chant. You need thousands of tongues and thousands of years. That's how much Ananda he's experiencing by chanting Krishna. Who? Srila Rupa Goswami. So we can only imagine what is the sweetness that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing. Just by this mantra, you get some hint. Just when you chant so many times Krishna, 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 it's like. So, anyway, so the Lord chanted this and the meaning was said. Now, next verse. ए श्लोक पढ़ी पथे चलिला गौर हरि लोक देखी पथे को है बोलो हरि हरि ए श्लोक पढ़ी पथे चलिला गौर हरि like this he was constantly chanting this shloka Krishna 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 hey constantly he's chanting this and he was walking who Gaura Hari Lok dekhi pathe. On the way, if he would see anyone, any people, he would say, Bolo Hari Hari, chant Hari Hari. Anyone he would see on the path, he himself is chanting. And if he happened to see anyone, he will say, Bolo Hari Hari, chant Hari Hari, like that. Chanting this verse, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, known as Gaura Hari, went on his way. As soon as he saw someone, he would request him to chant Hari Hari. Say लोक प्रेम मत्त होया बोले हरि कृष्ण प्रभुर पाछे संगे जाय darshan satrishna. Say loka, that means that person, those people whom Mahaprabhu would request to chant Hari Hari. So those people, prema matta hoya, right? They would go mad in love of Godhead. When the Lord would request them to chant Hari, they would just go mad in love of Godhead and they would chant Hari Krishna in love. Prabhura pache sange jai darshana satrishna. And then after chanting, now they cannot give up the association of Mahaprabhu. So they just follow behind him. Once anyone, if Mahaprabhu sees someone and on the way, right, somebody is just passing by, he'll say, Bolo Hari. And then they would just go into ecstasy and they would say, Krishna, Hari. And then they would get so, they would be mad in love that they could not give up the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They would just follow behind him. Prabhura pache sange jai. Along with him, they would go following behind him. Darashana Satrishna. They would get such desire, intense desire to see the Lord, to keep seeing the Lord, that they wouldn't go back home or wherever, whatever business that they were on their way to. They would forget everything. They would just be walking behind him because of that intense desire to see him, to take darshan of him. Whoever heard Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu chant Hari Hari also chanted the holy name of Lord Hari and Krishna. In this way, they all followed the Lord, very eager to see him. কত ক্ষণে রহি প্রভু তারে আলিঙ্গিয়া বিদায়া করিলা তারে শক্তি সঞ্চারিয়া. So it's not that Mahaprabhu just took them and went away. Koto kshane rohi Prabhu tare alingiya. So they would keep walking behind him. After some time, then Mahaprabhu would embrace them. Bidaya korilo tare shakti sanchariya. So by embracing him, he would invest his potency in that person, his bhakti shakti. It would be invested in that person, and then he would say, goodbye. Now you go and preach. Right. Kotokshane rahi prabhu tare alingiya bidaya korila tare shakti sanchariya. Now you spread this, right? After some time, the Lord would embrace these people and bid them return home, having invested each of them with spiritual potency. Purport. In his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that this spiritual potency, which spiritual potency? The one that Mahaprabhu invests in devotees. This spiritual potency is the essence of the pleasure potency and the knowledge potency. This is important. So, what is this spiritual potency? This is Bhakti Shakti. Bhakti. What is Bhakti? So, you see, the Lord has internal energy. We all know external energy, marginal energy, and internal energy. In internal energy, it's also called Swarupa Shakti. It has many, many functions. And according to its functions, it's known by different names. On a broad scale, the internal energy has three Shaktis. Sandhini, Samvid, and Haladini. So Sandhini is the potency of existence. Samvid is of cognizance, and Haladini is of pleasure. So the pleasure potency is Srimati Radharani. Haladini potency is Srimati Radharani. Now what is this Bhakti Shakti? The condensed form of this pleasure potency is called Bhakti Shakti. Where do you find this Bhakti Shakti? It is found in the hearts of devotees. So, why the Lord is running after devotees? Because they have something which is not there in himself. You see, when you say Swarupa Shakti, Swarupa, Swarupa, personal form, right? Swarupa. His form is because of that Shakti only. He's Shaktiman because of Shakti. Internal Shakti or Swarupa Shakti means it cannot be separated from his identity. It is part of him. It cannot be separated. So, this Swarupa Shakti has Hladini potency. Hladini potency is what gives pleasure to the Lord. It is because of Hladini potency that the Lord is experiencing pleasure. Still, the same Hladini potency, when it is invested in the hearts of devotees, it is so condensed. Just like you have milk, milk is delicious, it is nutritious, but when you cook it down, you make rabdi, right? Condensed milk, rabdi. That is also milk, but it is condensed form. It is even more delicious, isn't it? Like that, this condensed form of the pleasure potency, and here Srila Prabhupada is writing pleasure potency and knowledge potency. The condensed form of this pleasure potency is Bhakti Shakti. Where do you find this Bhakti? in the hearts of devotees. That means this bhakti, the Lord is not finding in himself. He's finding it in the hearts of devotees. That is why he's running after his devotees. The devotees make him dance. The devotees control him. He becomes completely captivated by the devotees. What is it in the devotees that is attracting the Lord? It is not the devotees, material beauty or education or high birth. Huh? No, none of these things. What is attracting the Lord is that bhakti in the heart of this devotee. So the Lord becomes mad. How? Just like a bumblebee or a honeybee becomes mad after the fragrance of a flower, lotus flower. It just goes mad. Like that, the Lord becomes mad after this bhakti which is in the heart of the devotees and is running after them. So you may wonder, or devotees can become, from outside we may think, so devotees are, they'll become proud that we have something which even the Lord does not have. Well, where is this bhakti coming from? What is this bhakti? It is that Swarup Shakti only. Swarup Shakti is his Shakti only, his internal energy. We didn't manufacture this bhakti, we didn't create it. It is his Shakti only, but it is invested in our heart. When it is invested in our heart, it becomes even more delicious. Something like Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very sweet, but when it is coming from the mouth of Sukadev Goswami, it's like the fruit which is bitten by a parrot, it becomes even more delicious. Like that, it is his Swarup Shakti only, but when it is in the heart of a devotee, it becomes even more tasty. And the Lord becomes, he goes really mad after this. So this is Bhakti Shakti. Bhakti. But what is this bhakti? It is his Swarup Shakti only, the condensed form of Swarup Shakti. Which Swarup Shakti? Haladini potency, which is Srimati Radharani. The condensed form of that which is found in the hearts of the devotees. That's what the Lord is hankering for. So, who's saying? Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that this spiritual potency is the essence of the pleasure potency and the knowledge potency. Which spiritual potency? The Lord is investing this in the hearts of the people, isn't it? You may get a question. How do the devotees get this? Isn't it? You should get that question. So it is the Lord Swarupa Shakti. Here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving, anyway, we discussed it before also. There are stages, but the beginning starts with a devotee who has it in his heart. He can only give it, isn't it? If you have money, then you can give charity. If you don't have money, can you give money to someone else? If you don't have anything yourself, what will you give? Similarly, that devotee who has this uh, bhakti in his heart, he gives it to a new person, brand new person. That means someone who has no bhakti. How he gives it? He gives it in the form of mercy, kripa. That means his heart, because of bhakti, his heart becomes really soft. That's the nature. Bhakti makes the heart very, very soft. Offenses make the heart very hard. Offenses make the heart hard. Bhakti makes the heart really soft like butter. So, because this devotee has this bhakti, his heart is really soft. And when he sees the suffering in this world, what is the suffering? Forgetfulness of Krishna, of Krishna. Because of turning away from Krishna, then all other problems begin. Because we are turned away from the Lord, now we are identifying ourselves with the body, unnecessarily claiming the activities of the body to be my own activities, and then also identifying with the pain and pleasure of the body to be my own pain and pleasure, and then we are suffering. There's no need to suffer, but I am suffering because of identifying with this body. All this is because of turning away from the Lord. So, seeing the suffering of this conditioned soul, that devotee who has bhakti in his heart, because his heart is so soft, when he sees this suffering, what happens to him? That heart melts. Because suffering, right? Seeing this suffering, the heart melts. And the bhakti in his heart is now flowing in the form of compassion towards the suffering souls. This only a devotee can do. The Lord cannot do this. The Lord cannot give, uh, he cannot feel for the suffering of the conditioned soul. Only a devotee can feel. Because the Lord has no, he can have knowledge, but he has no experience of material suffering. Material energy cannot touch the Lord. What he will experience material suffering. Huh? But those who are living entities, even though they are Nitya Siddha devotees, they will, because of being Jivatma, Tatastha Shakti. So the devotees are Tatastha Shakti. You are late today, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So no problem. So because of being Tatastha Shakti, the devotees, even though they are eternally liberated souls, they are Tatastha Shakti. Conditioned souls are also Tatastha Shakti. In that sense, bhai bhai. They can understand. They can understand the pain. So therefore, devotees who are, Tatastha Shakti, they'll feel and their heart melts and then they give kripa. That's where your good fortune begins. Your good fortune awakens at that point. The Lord does not give. There are some, it's not possible for the Lord to give mercy directly, because then there will be this akshepa. Akshepa means this blame on the Lord that you gave mercy only to some people, you didn't give to other people. Because mercy means it's not based on any qualification. They just give mercy. So if the Lord is giving mercy, then everyone in the world should be devotees. Do you see that everyone in the world is a devotee? No. Some people are devotees, others are not devotees. So if you say the Lord is giving mercy, he's being partial. He's giving mercy to some people, he's not giving to others. So that becomes a blame, because he says he's equal to everyone. How he can give to some people and not to others? He cannot do that. So that is why the Lord does not give mercy. Then the devotee gives mercy. So the devotee won't get the blame that he's giving to some, he's not giving to others. No, he won't get the blame. Why? Because the very definition of a Madhyama Bhakta's definition is he differentiates between who is a devotee, he loves the Supreme Lord, he makes friendship with the devotees, he shows compassion to the ignorant people, and he avoids the envious. These four types of people he will uh, interact with four type of people in different way. That is the definition, lakshana of a Madhyama Bhakta. So a Madhyama Bhakta, if he gives mercy to some people, he does not give to others, no problem, he can do that. But the Supreme Lord, if he does that, then he will be blamed. You are being partial. You are supposed to be impartial. How? Madhyama Bhakta can be partial. He is partial. That is his definition. So no problem. That is why mercy should first come from a Madhyama Bhakta who has this love in his heart. Right? He has bhakti in his heart. Then he can share. And that's when you get. Then here Mahaprabhu is giving. So that is the very beginning. Okay, very beginning. If you have no love at all, then that love comes by the devotee. So ultimately, what is the source of this? The Lord only. So it's not your property, my property, anyone's property. It's his property only. This bhakti is his own Shakti, Haladini Shakti. But when it is invested in the devotee's heart, it becomes condensed and it is called Bhakti Shakti. Okay? And how do we get it? Nothing to be proud of. We are just beggars. We receive it from someone else. That's all. And then we become instruments and we pass it on to others. I mean, we pass it on to others. How? If you become a Madhyama Bhakta, if you become like that, a pure devotee, then you can give that. Otherwise, we can simply become instruments of our gurus. They may be Madhyama Bhaktas or Uttama Bhaktas. We simply act on their behalf. They are the ones who are giving mercy. They are choosing who they want to give mercy. We become their extended spirit.
Instrumental.
That's all. Right? Even if we are not pure devotees ourselves, when you go for book distribution, or when you tell someone about Krishna, when you engage someone in some service of the Lord, right? Make some garlands or clean some pots, or you engage new people in devotional service, you are simply becoming instruments of the Madhyama Bhakta who has shown you mercy, right? So you become instruments of them. So we become Srila Prabhupada's instruments, we become instruments of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, and that way. So that way we can become instruments of their mercy. But really, the mercy is coming from someone who has it only can give. We cannot give. Like, we means who, those who are not having that pure bhakti. So here Mahaprabhu is giving means what should we understand? How should we understand? He is giving it directly. Why did Mahaprabhu even come? He came because of Advaita Acharya's calling. That means he's responding to his devotee, and then he's giving mercy now on the request of his devotees, like that. So he's giving mercy, but he's giving it through the devotee only. He's not giving directly. We should understand. Okay. In his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that this spiritual potency is the essence of the pleasure potency and the knowledge potency. What is the spiritual potency? Bhakti. By these two potencies, one is empowered with devotional service. Lord Krishna himself or his representative, the unalloyed devotee, can mercifully bestow these combined potencies upon any man. Okay, here, when you say Lord Krishna himself or his representative, uh, there are stages here. The first, very beginning, the first mercy comes from a devotee only, not from the Lord. But after you receive this mercy from the devotee, you start, the process, right? You do some bhajan, you hear from Shastras, you follow the instructions, whatever instructions the sadhu is telling you to follow, you follow. And then, depending on your sincerity. Now, after receiving mercy, also, it is not necessary that everyone takes it with the same sincerity, isn't it? Uh, if you are in the mode of goodness, then you are in a very favorable platform to receive that mercy. Very quick. It's like when there is dry grass, you put little bit of fire, immediately it will catch fire. Wet grass, you put fire, still only smoke is coming. Like that. So if you are in the mode of goodness, then you can actually receive that mercy and keep it. And when you hear from, what do you mean by receiving that mercy and keeping it? When you hear from Shastra, your faith in bhakti will become stronger and stronger. Whereas someone else who is not in the mode of goodness, who is in the mode of passion, even after receiving that mercy, he is not able to keep it. How he is not able to keep it? Because of being in the modes of passion and ignorance. Even when he's hearing from Shastra, that knowledge that you're receiving, it's not able to stay in your heart, right? And you get counter arguments in your mind, or you don't understand. You don't understand also. So what I'm saying is, even if you receive mercy, it's not that everyone will progress at the same level. Some people progress quickly, some people don't progress so quickly. That means reciprocation is also required. You have to do your part also. Mercy is coming, but sincerity. Here, reciprocation means what is your sincerity in receiving that mercy. Also, I'm not saying same amount of mercy everyone is given. That is also not a fact. According to the qualification of the person giving. When Srila Prabhupada came, what was his power? Superpower, right? His bhakti. He could immediately lift even those who were drug addicts, completely, absorbed in sinful activities. He could just lift them to the standard of pure devotional service, surrender their lives to Krishna. They could just become sannyasis and go and preach on his behalf all over the world. How he was able to do that? His power was very strong. You cannot say that all pure devotees have the same strength. No, it depends on the power of that devotee who's giving mercy. So now, even though I am preaching, why I am not able to make people into pure devotees? Because I don't have that power. My power is limited, isn't it? So as much as they say, jitna aata utna roti banega. As much of flour you have, that many rotis only you can make. So as much as bhakti you have, that much only you can influence another person, isn't it? So that is also a factor. The person that who gave you mercy, how much power that person had, that is one factor. And even after receiving that bhakti, how sincere you are, that is another factor. And depending, so now, because here it is said you can receive the mercy from the Lord also, that part I am explaining, that after you receive this mercy, if you are sincere, depending on your sincerity, now the Lord gives you your spiritual master. The Lord is giving you. He is guiding you towards, because you will see, after coming to bhakti, sometimes some devotees go to certain, spiritual masters, and that means not all spiritual masters are on the same platform of bhakti, right? Levels are also different in terms of bhakti. Why some devotees go to certain and others go to others, depending on our sincerity, right? He matches. Krishna will send us, guide us to a spiritual master according to my sincerity, according to my capacity, and according to my, uh, mindset, according to basically my sincerity. You can just sum it up into, based on my sincerity, I will be guided by Krishna. So in this way, Krishna is also giving mercy. That's the point. But Krishna's mercy comes only after devotee's mercy. That we should remember. So here in this purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, Krishna or the devotee. So I was just explaining that Lord Krishna himself or his representative, the unalloyed devotee, can mercifully bestow these combined potencies upon any man. Being thus endowed with such potencies, one can become an unalloyed devotee of the Lord. Anyone favored by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was empowered with this Bhakti Shakti. Thus, the Lord's followers were able to preach Krishna consciousness by divine grace. So, one more, I'll take Mataji, 1 second. I'll just one point more I'll say, and then I'll take your point. So, this devotional service also, it is in, there is sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, prema bhakti, isn't it? So, to enter into sadhana bhakti, you need dhrida shraddha, full faith. After you get full faith, now you start your sadhana bhakti. And sadhana bhakti means sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti. All this is sadhana bhakti. Then you enter into bhava bhakti. Now this bhava bhakti you can get by doing sadhana bhakti. How you did sadhana bhakti? After you got mercy from a devotee, you built strong faith, and now you entered into Shuddha Bhakti. You started Anartha Nivritti, like that you progressed, and finally after Asakti you are entering into Bhav Bhakti. That's one path. This is given in Nectar of Devotion, by the way, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Yeah.
4 ways how you can get Bhava Bhakti. One way is by Sadhana Bhakti. And the second way is you can get this Sadhana Bhava Bhakti uh, directly by the mercy of a devotee without doing sadhana. Without doing sadhana, you can directly get Bhava Bhakti. That's also possible. Okay, Bhava Bhakti you can get by the mercy of a devotee. Skipping this sadhana stage, you'll just directly come to Bhava. You'll get Bhava. There are examples given. Then the third thing is you get Bhava Bhakti by the mercy of the Lord. You can get. You can get Bhava Bhakti by the mercy of the Lord. Okay. That means what should you understand? First, you got mercy from a devotee, and then you got the Lord's mercy, by which you got bhava directly without going through sadhana. Okay? So that one is there. And so you can get bhava bhakti through sadhana bhakti, through a devotee's mercy, through the Lord's mercy. And the fourth one, I am not recollecting now, but I don't know if it's got to do with raga. You have, yeah. So in this sadhana bhakti, you have two paths. One is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, the other one is Raganuga sadhana bhakti. Right? So that means Raganuga sadhana bhakti is very rare, extremely rare. Therefore, Rupa Goswami does not go into those details. He says it's virala. Virala means you'll hardly ever find. So he doesn't give the systematic progression. There, what happens is, here we have to first build strong faith, right? By hearing Shastras. In those devotees' cases, they don't have to go through these, what do you say, getting faith. They have natural greed, natural attraction to hearing Krishna's Leela, Krishna's pastime. They're called Ruchi Pradhana Bhaktas. One is called Vichara Pradhana, the other is Ruchi Pradhana. Vichara Pradhana means Vichara, by Shastra. You hear from Shastra, you understand from Shastra, I must do devotional service. So based on the Shastric injunctions, now on that authority, you do devotional service. This is Vichara Pradhana Bhaktas. So they are also going through Sadhana Bhakti. And then Ruchi Pradhana Bhaktas means not based on Shastra's, orders, but they have this natural greed, natural attraction to hear about Krishna Leela. And they're not so much interested in the Srishti Leelas. They're only interested in the sweet pastimes of the Lord, Krishna's pastimes from Krishna book. They want to hear those pastimes over and over again. So that is another path. So these are the four ways, okay? How one can get Bhava Bhakti. So of these four ways, one is receiving Krishna's mercy directly. By Krishna's mercy also one gets Bhava, and from Bhava you get Prema. That's right. So that is why here it is said you can get mercy either from the Lord's devotee or directly from the Lord. And at what stage? So the beginning is always from a devotee. That you should understand. Yes, Mataji. So I'm going to stop here. You can ask any questions or any discussions.
No, don't stop it now. Keep on going.
No, time is over. You tell me, you raised your hand.
No. What I'm saying is, you said your bhakti starts with the devotees association.
Mercy. Kripa.
Mercy. So that's what happened. I feel myself, I'm feeling myself. My bhakti started with a devotee.
Yes.
And then I started slowly getting into those devotional service or chanting, not chanting really one timer like that, but singing bhajans, thinking of God, and some devotional service, cooking, all kind of things. And I used to go to home programs like that. Slowly that started that.
Yes.
And afterwards, after a long time, it took me years from 80s to 90s. Not 90s, 2000s. So until that time, I didn't have any feeling that I should go for a guru or get that. For Krishna consciousness, I am talking about from the doing devotional service like puja and all, and from childhood I was doing with my mother, fastings, other things, Ekadasi fastings like that. But I didn't know anything like that.
Right.
The Krishna conscious, when I came in 80s, I started, feeling that, oh, I should go to temple. I was so tempted to go. We were close to temple. I used to walk and then go devotional service with devotee association. One devotee, she was helping me. Like that I did. That was slowly, it took me from 80 to 2000. 2000, when my daughter got initiated, I said, oh, I should have had Guru younger than me. She is 20 years younger than me. She got that Guru's mercy. I didn't get it anything. I didn't ask for anybody. So I was thinking, and then it so happened that my Guru's secretary used to give classes. I started attending those classes on Zoom. Then I got that little bit more ruchi.
Mhm.
Then afterwards, I went for. She said, "No, why don't you go and go for initiation?" I said, "Yeah, I will. I will go." Then I had to wait 1 year, one more year. Then after she got initiated, I got interest and I got that mm, mercy of my guru, and I got that guru initiation. And afterwards, I started chanting that number of chanting, 16 rounds, this, that, like that. It went little more like this thing interest.
Yes.
Then I got my second initiation without my knowledge. So these are the things I think my Krishna must have given me that mercy through Guru. That second initiation I must have got like that.
Of course, yeah.
So these things, this step by step, I'm feeling in my own life. So these things will happen. Really, it will happen, Mataji.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Then now I feel that today I went for MRI. I was in that hole, they put me. I was so scared.
I know.
But I closed my eyes. I didn't open my eyes. She
Yeah.
gave me one ball to, if I am very nervous, I can call them. No, I didn't do anything. And somebody said, you can ask them to put some music in your ears. I asked for it. And she put something. I said, I don't want it. And then throughout, I was chanting. I was doing Damodarashtakam. I was doing Narasimhashtakam. Everything I was chanting. Within no time, it was done.
Yes.
How long it took, I don't know.
Yes.
And I didn't open my eyes. Because if I open my eyes, I'm so scared.
I know.
I can't breathe in that.
Yes. Yes.
Since you don't believe, since 10 days, I was feeling, oh God, I have to go for that. I have to go for that. And then yesterday, temple also, somebody said, no, it's not, don't worry. Ask them to put some kirtan. I asked her. She put some filmy song. That lady knows Lata Mangeshkar, the Hindi songs lady, and then some other person's songs. She knows two people only. So she was putting those budget, the kirtan. So I said no, but this whole thing, I was closing my eyes and I was chanting.
Very nice.
That gave me so much good strength.
Yes, Mataji. Very nice. Thank
So
you.
these are life experiences, Mataji.
Yes.
That's why I'm just telling you.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I missed some class today.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Chaitanya
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Sarvasya Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.